Hello, my name is Matthew Sweet. This is Cyborg Escape. Set in the distant future, there's a cyborg being built in a factory. The cyborg becomes self-aware and is trying to escape its creators who built it. Cyborg Escape is about collecting metal plates to craft different upgrades for the cyborg after each level. Players will access a crafting menu between the levels where they will build upgrades for the cyborg. Some of these upgrades include speed boost, double jump, and different types of ammo. The player will run, jump, and shoot their way to the end of the level before the timer runs out. Can you help the cyborg escape? Cyborg Escape will be a 2D side-scrolling platformer with level-based progression. The levels will include moving platforms, short and long jumps, and moving and shooting enemies. The game will have pitfalls and environmental hazards to avoid while traversing the levels. The game view for this game will be like many retro 2D side-scrollers with a limited side-to-side view. Some similar games to Cyborg Escape are Super Mario Bros., Mega Man, and Metroid. What makes this game stand out from the other games is that there are no power-ups in levels. Instead, the players will use a crafting mechanic after each level to give them a boost in-game. During gameplay, players will choose which kind of enhancements to build for the cyborg. For example, if a player chooses to craft a speed boost upgrade, then they are progressing through the level more quickly. Whereas, if a player chooses to craft a double jump, then they have a better chance of avoiding enemies and collecting more metal plates for further upgrades. The players will be able to use these upgrades in sync with each other. For example, a player who uses a speed boost and a double jump can create a boost jump. The choices for the crafting mechanics will ultimately determine the replayability of the game. There are several decisions that the player can make when playing Cyborg Escape. Some key examples are when a player chooses to jump to and from a platform to gain a way forward or bypass an enemy, and when to climb a ladder or simply bypass that ladder to save time. Some other examples of the player decisions are whether to shoot an enemy to collect the nuts and bolts for a higher score, or jump over it and continue to the end of the level, and whether to choose to collect the metal plates for crafting enhancements or simply bypass them. The goal of the player is ultimately to make it to the end of the level with the least amount of time used possible. The secondary goals for the player are to collect the nuts and bolts and collect the metal plates to build up their high score and to craft better upgrades. The theme I've chosen for Cyborg Escape is a futuristic sci-fi factory. The first two levels of the game will take place in the factory, then move into the city streets for the next two levels, then transitioning into the country for the final two levels as the cyborg tries to make its escape from the creators. The rules of the game are that the player will use run, jump, and climb mechanics to traverse the platforms to make it to the end of the level before the timer runs out. The player will collect metal plates to craft different enhancements for the cyborg after each level in a crafting menu. The player will shoot or jump their way over enemies to collect as many nuts and bolts as possible and achieve the high score in the game. The player will use several mechanics throughout the game. These include run, jump, craft, climb, shoot, collect, and score. The main antagonizing force for the game will be the timer. The player will have 4 minutes to reach the end of the level before the timer runs out. If this happens, the level must be restarted. The secondary antagonizing force in the game will be the enemies in the level, as they will try to destroy you at every turn. The two different kinds of risks involved in this project are developmental and design risks. The developmental risks are due to the personnel and technical limitations, as we are going to be working in teams of 4 to 5 students. The mitigation to this will be making sure that each student is working on their strong suits. The design risks are that we will not have a game art student available to make our art, so we'll have to do this ourselves, as this could take away time from the actual designing of the game. The mitigation for this would be simply using 2D art provided in the Unity store for asset creation. I hope you all have enjoyed our presentation and have a wonderful day. Thank you.